Hello, viewers. Welcome to another segment here on Serenity TV. Now, you all know it's the month of love, and you all know what February is. Sorry, it's February, and you know it's the month of love. Now, we all have celebrated it with our loved ones, our family, friends, and well wishers. But then, yeah, February, like I said, is the month of love. People are dating, but they don't know what they are dating for. Are they dating for fun or just for dating's sake, or to be say tagged in a relationship? Now, but for people who are in a serious relationship that develop it to marriage, there are things that they will consider and they will put in place before they can say, okay, fine, you and I can start up a serious relationship that will definitely lead to marriage. Now, joining me to discuss this interesting episode, I have with me a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful lady. Very beautiful. You guys will see it very soon. What I'm talking about. She's exceptionally beautiful. Now, I am joined with Pharmacy Chidera. Mom, you're welcome.
Thank you. Thank you so
like
much
she's
for
beautiful,
having me.
isn't she? Come on, you guys
My
should
head
give
is
her.
swelling. Calm down.
You guys should give her a round of applause. She's
Thank
looking
you.
good. She's glowing.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, ma. How are you
I'm
doing?
well, thank you. How are you?
I'm okay. I'm okay.
Yeah.
And congratulations once again.
Thank
Don't
you.
ask me why I'm saying that. You'll find out later.
Thank you.
Okay, ma. So let's move on.
Okay.
Now, like I said earlier, people date for different reasons, right?
Mhm.
Now, it's only few that dates for a specific reason, right? For things attached to it.
Mhm.
Now, that is what brings us to this topic, dating before, like relationship that leads to marriage or something like that. You understand? So, what will you say about people that are dating in this generation, but they have marriage at mind? What is that thing that they should consider and things that they shouldn't?
Okay. Thank you so much again for
You're
having
welcome.
me.
You're welcome.
Right. So insights I can share with people who are in a relationship and
Yeah.
hoping it gets into
Yeah.
marriage. For me, I believe first things first, you should understand and define the purpose of your relationship, right? So when you have defined, this is why we are dating, you have a relationship with purpose. And now because there is a purpose, there is a vision, there's a goal. So you're now going to model that relationship to align with your purpose, your plans, your visions,
Yeah.
your goal. So first things first, you should learn communication.
Very important.
You cannot take away communication in a relationship. And communication is not about who talks more. It's two-way. You're talking, but then you're creating, there should be an understanding. Because if I'm just talking and talking and talking and there's no understanding, it may actually lead to more conflicts than resolving conflicts, right? And some people will say, oh, I'm not a talking person. It's not in me. I don't know how to. It's not a personality trait. It's a skill you have to learn
develop.
over time.
Okay.
You need to understand your partner. Is your partner somebody that goes into emotional withdrawal where there's conflict? How does your partner handle conflict resolution? Is your partner somebody who can hold accountable when something happens? And it's important to know that as much as what you're saying is important, the tone in which you're using to say it is equally as important. For me personally, I hate to resolve issues over texts.
Oh, you love talking it out.
I like we sit, we talk, because beyond what you're saying, I'm looking at your body language. I'm looking at the tone, your mannerisms, because you may be saying something, but I may interpret it in a different way. For example, I say, give me water and give me water. You may understand it via text as I was being rude to you and I just said, give me water because I didn't add please. But if I'm talking to you physically, I can just say, give me water. You look at the softness or the way I am softer or the tone at which I said it, and you understand that it wasn't intended to be rude.
Yeah.
Do you
The
understand?
approach, the
The
body
approach,
language.
your body language. These
Yeah,
are
the
really
tone,
important.
yeah.
And then it's also important that when you're trying to get clarity from your partners, you're communicating, you don't say things accusingly. You always leave the toilet lid open. That's accusing. It could be a case of oversight. But if I come and say, oh, I feel the toilet lid will be better if it's always closed, if you sort of just try to make conscious effort. You that I'm telling it to, you will not feel the need to become defensive or feel like I'm trying to impose something on you, or you misinterpret it in a different way. So it's important that when you're communicating with your partner, you communicate not accusingly, but the tone and the mannerism. These are very, very important. Now that's for communication. Again, something else I feel that is important is people marry, they're dating, and when we're alone, we enjoy Netflix and chill. We like going these are our hobbies. We like reading. But yes, it's good to marry somebody, or you're dating somebody that yes, you can share hobbies with, so that way you find something to unwind during your free time. But more important than hobbies, I believe that it's very good you date somebody, or you're dating to marry somebody who your values align.
Yes. Okay.
Your
Okay.
values.
I have a question.
Okay.
Right? Before we continue into that area, you said something about purpose. Who you have the same purpose and share the same value and the rest. But people don't understand that. They can't really identify who their purpose align with. So at what stage do you think they should spell these things out and understand it? Is it at the earlier stage of friendship or the the asking out stage or something like that? So when do you think they should really come in?
Okay.
I'm serious. People don't know
People
this.
say they have talking stage. They have talking stage.
Yes, they do.
And even people will say, "Metonye digime maka ololo." Most times you become friends with somebody without knowing that eventually it's going to get serious. Right? And there's a saying that says, "Show me your friend and I'll tell you who you are."
Exactly.
So beyond just that, now I've decided I want to date you intentionally to marry you, or want to court you to marry you. I don't think as an individual you have any business being friends, even the least friends, with somebody you don't share the same values with. Friends, like genuine friends, not acquaintances, not colleagues, because we tend to mix these words anyhow these days.
Yes.
I have many acquaintances. I have colleagues. I have people that I know. I have business partners. I have clients. I have patients. But when I say you are my friend, there's a big difference. So now put that in the context of now, beyond friendship, now you're courting to marry this person.
Yes.
So if you can have friends that you share the same values with, what more the person you're deciding I'm going to build a life with, build a family with? Your values I'm talking about here, you mean, what does this person stand on integrity? What does family structure mean to this person? What does addiction problems like betting, pornography and all of that, is it a deal breaker for you? There are some things that personally I can't stand. They are a no-go. It is not something I can tolerate, right? So if this person holds these things as values in high esteem, or this person doesn't really matter to this person, and for me is a deal breaker. I mean, that is something we need to revisit, because most of the time those things we ignore end up causing problems later on, either in the relationship or in the marriage, even though some people still proceed with
marriage. Yes.
That's why earlier I mentioned communication, because when you're courting or dating to marry, that is the time you need to have the most difficult conversations, no matter how bad it is. Conversations around money, conversations around your faith, conversations around cultural beliefs, conversations around sex, around children, parenting style, around your lifestyle, around conflict resolution. Those are the times you have the most difficult conversations, to be sure that I'm not treading on the wrong path. Because if you're not able to deal with those things and you eventually get married, I mean, you know,
Yeah.
So-
That's nice.
values are really important. Making sure that you people have the same values.
Mm.
And you have defined our purpose, right? Because you asked me a question on that. You
Yes.
defined your purpose. Your purpose, you're asking yourself, what are we dating for? What is the goal? Now the Bible says two shall usually become one. Yes. So now we are dating. What legacy are we hoping to build as a unit? Who are those that are going to benefit from this union? Is this union going to be a blessing to the society, or is it going to be another menace the society has to deal with? Right? Because you need to talk about these things. What are the styles are we going to do gentle parenting, or we're going to do a mix and match of the way our parents raised us with gentle parenting?
Yes.
So it's very important that you people have this conversation.
Yeah.
Make sure that your communication style aligns. Even if it doesn't align, you can always learn and unlearn, because even you have siblings, I suppose.
Yes.
And
yes.
even you and your siblings, from time to time, you fight.
Yes, you disagree.
Beautiful. You disagree from time to time.
Yeah.
Now talk more of somebody that you
Out
met
of
him
nowhere.
in his adult age, and he met you in your adult age, and both of you want to start. So from time to time, you're going to disagree, but you need to be sure that the way you resolve your conflict doesn't end up hurting the other person. It's always me and you versus the problem, not you versus me. We're a team.
Yes.
We're a team.
Okay. Now you say something about, siblings.
Mm-hmm.
Now people have there is a general belief among some people though, that even though you didn't grow up with this person and you met this person at the adult age, this person is not acting out the way you want or the way he or she appreciates, right? And they believe that with constant telling and talking to, the person will change. The person will change from whatever attitude this person is playing out to a better one that suits the
Suits
partner.
you.
Yes.
Mm.
So what do you have to say about that? Or is that a myth, or is something that isn't?
That is a tricky one. Anyways, I believe that's a two-way thing. Let me play it out this way.
Okay.
You meet somebody who is a smoker, right? And you know that with the right rehabilitation, the person may, notice the choice of my words,
Yes.
may stop
Capital
smoking.
letter.
May stop smoking. And then you meet somebody, I'm looking for the right example, somebody who is a chronic womanizer, who doesn't, the person is a chronic womanizer one, and the person believes that it's in a man's nature to be that way,
Wow.
and the person doesn't see anything, it's embedded in the person's belief. And you say you're going to change that person. I don't believe marriage or anything changes people.
Okay.
It already amplifies what is there already. So that is why it's important that you have boundaries. For someone who doesn't respect your boundary, that person doesn't love you. Because you can't say you love me and these things that I hold sacred, you can't uphold them. It goes both ways.
Should people even keep boundaries in a relationship?
Yes, there are boundaries.
Wow.
There are definitely boundaries.
Okay.
There are, even though you're not losing your individuality because you're getting married, either as a man or a woman. Because you're getting married doesn't take away the fact that you are your own person, right? Sometimes you need to know this is no-go area for me. All right, let me give an instance, because most times money is something that always causes problems in marriages.
Exactly.
Always. Money, sex.
Even in relationships.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
So for me, I have a boundary that no matter how broke I am not going into debt just to fit a lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
Right? You need to respect that for me, that I am not going into debt. I'm not going to borrow money. I'm not going to become at somebody else's mercy because of money. That is a boundary that you have to respect that. We save money now because I don't have to use I, because it's a teamwork now. We save money. We have our limit, spending limits. We don't cross this limit because we are not hoping to go into debt and remain in someone else's mercy.
Yeah.
That is a financial boundary.
Okay.
Right? So my partner has to respect that. He doesn't or she doesn't have to put me in a position where I will need to compromise that. Either becoming by being spendthrift or spending recklessly and then putting me in that position where I'll have to compromise on that boundary. Right? When it comes to sex and intimacy, if you have a boundary, say, look, in this marriage, I know people do every kind of things and all of that, but you see this thing they call anal sex or whatever, it's a no-go area. That's a sexual boundary. It's not done. You need to respect that. So that you're getting married doesn't mean that you don't have things that are deal breakers for you. Right? Because there's been so many stories on the internet where people get married and then their partners force them to break that boundaries, and then eventually it causes so many other challenges. And so you must have boundary. And for someone who says, I love you, the person needs to respect that boundary, because marriage doesn't take away your individuality.
Yeah, it just amplifies it, like you said.
So like I said, you don't marry somebody hoping that the person will change. No, you're marrying that person because I accept you wholeheartedly. I've seen you. I've seen your flaws. I've seen your downsides. Yes, I know that it may not sit well with me every day, but it's something I'm willing to live with.
Okay.
Then it is my responsibility to try to work on myself and say, this person has accepted me with my flaws and all. So I need to make intentional effort to be a better person by the day for this person.
All right. Okay.
Right? Yeah. I need to try to grow, to become better and better each day. I don't have to become complacent. I don't have to relax. Oh, I'm married, so it's all over. You saw me the way I am and you take me like that. No, it's not the fact that okay, let me put it this way, like two broken individuals, right? You have childhood traumas, you have brokenness and baggages you're coming with. Yes, I respect that. But this is not a rehabilitation center. You're coming into marriage. It's not a rehabilitation center. You should be willing to also put in the work to heal, the work to get better, while I'm also doing that. So that we're coming together as two whole individuals for something big, to create something big, to make room for expansion, to make room for stability. Not I'm working on myself to become a better person. And you say, take me as I am. You say take me as I am because you saw me this way initially. No, it doesn't work that way.
Okay.
So as much as you're marrying somebody, you're not hoping to change that person, but you're hoping that person learns to grow, and you're also helping that person because you water me, I water you.
Okay.
We'll help each other grow.
Okay, thank you very much, Ma. There is this before I ask a question, there is this thing that played out on the internet recently. I think that was Saturday. Yeah, the Lovers' Day. So the guy bought a car to propose to the lady.
Okay.
And
what now? A car?
Yeah, a car.
Okay.
Worth a lot of millions, right? He bought the car to propose to the lady, gave her the car as a Valentine's Day gift, and then went down on his knees to propose. And the lady turned him down.
Okay.
You understand? So now that brings me to this question. We've talked about knowing about a relationship at the initial stage, talking about all these things and the earlier. I don't know if they discussed this, which I'm not really concerned about. But then, what is your take on proposals? Do you think they should discuss it beforehand to know this, if this person will accept an outdoor proposal or is more of an indoor person? You understand?
Okay. I don't think the issue there is if it's an outdoor or indoor proposal. I think maybe the outcome would have still been the same. Okay. All right. But then back to your question. What have you people been talking about? I mean, you're courting somebody. You call on the phone. You spend hours on the phone. You're conversing. You go on dates. You chat all the time. So what are you people talking about?
I don't know.
Are you people, when you people meet, is it just about genital meet and greet? Do you people have conversations, like real life conversations? Social media has clouded the mind of so many young
A
people
lot.
that we don't understand that social media and real life is not the same thing, right? So what do you people talk about? How are you dating somebody to the point that you know that this person may likely ask me this kind of question? So why are you with this person if for such a time as this, except there is something more? Except there is something more. If the person is abusive or manipulative or gaslighting you or whatnot, so why didn't you leave? Why are you
At
still
the
with,
early
why are you still with this person? Why did you let it get to the point that the person asked you marry me and you turn the person down? Or if you as a man, you've had the conversation and you saying, and she said, oh, I will marry you, but right now I am not ready. Right? I am not ready. So why would you want to put yourselves in that position to be embarrassed? I mean, I've learned not to judge situations on the internet based on the context that is played out for me, because I always know there's always more to that story.
Yeah, behind
Because
the
both of you
story,
cannot just come and embarrass yourselves publicly for the whole world to see. And both of you will share equal part of the blame, except one person was deceiving the other person. Right? Except you were just leading the other person on, which is a form of emotional abuse on its own. But if it's that both of you didn't talk about that and you just come to make a public fool of yourself, joke's on you. Sorry. So
you believe that they should talk about
both
this,
of them,
even though they started initially
see,
as
it's a different thing where it comes as a surprise. You don't know how he's going to ask you the big question. You don't know how it's going to happen. But it shouldn't be totally, I'm not expecting it. I mean, you've had the conversation so many times. You've talked about life together. You've talked about planning, you're building, you've talked about building things together. And then this person now maybe surprises you when you were not expecting it to happen, and then ask you. Yes, it should come as there's genuine surprise, but he didn't take you unawares.
Yeah.
You've had the conversation, so you should know it's bound to happen, but you don't know how or when. Not knowing how or when is the surprise, but not like you were taken unawares.
Okay. Now, Mama, before we run though, there are some red flags that people tend to overlook. There are some red flags that people tend to overlook at the initial stage of this relationship. Now, we know some of them are dishonesty and disloyalty and other ones. But what are the underlying ones that people don't usually talk about, but is actually there, burning, and if they don't sort it out, it's going to be a great ruin in the long run?
Mom will say, those things you overlook or throw a blind eye to, even though it makes you uncomfortable, they're eventually the things you end up having your fights over.
Yeah.
Somebody wrongs you, or your partner wrongs you, and I tell him, oh, this thing you did, it didn't make me happy. And then instead of being accountable, you become defensive. That's a red flag.
One. Red flag. Okay.
Lack of accountability.
Okay.
Now, you as a person, you do something wrong to me, and I tell you, this is wrong, this is why I felt. And then instead of taking accountability for being accountable for that, you don't become defensive either. You now try to paint a picture that it was my fault that you did that. Right? You try to gaslight me. You try to gaslight me into believing that I am the cause of the problem. I am the cause of you. For example, a man who is abusive physically, or a woman, even women are physically abusive.
Yes.
A woman who abuses or physically abuses you. or even not just physical abuse, emotional abuse, financial abuse. These are all different forms of abuse that people don't talk about. And then instead of taking, like acknowledging this, I did wrong, you say, oh, but it's because you did this that made me do that. So if you didn't do this, I wouldn't have done that to you. You try to manipulate or gaslight the person, right? These are things that people often turn a blind. Then when they do that, they buy you gifts and you turn a blind eye to them. I mean, at the end of the day, these are things that you still come back to haunt you.
Yeah.
Or somebody casually tells you about his take on or her take on cheating in a marriage or relationship. It tells you casually, and you don't take it as anything. These are the things the person believes in. Or the person tells you about my wife must have male and female children. If not, I will go and get it outside. He tells you this and that, and you just laugh about it. These are the things the person believes in, right? There are so many things that they may seem insignificant, but when you try to have a deep conversation with that person about it, it amplifies the person's thoughts, and you see, this one is walking red seal, not even just the red flag, So I believe that, like I said earlier, have conversations. And then you should have somebody you people hold in high esteem that you're accountable to. People say no third parties in marriage or relationship. I beg to differ. Yes. While I believe that no third parties, yes, but I also believe that we should have somebody that we hold in high esteem, that you listen to, that I listen to, that we can put the tough questions that pose ahead of us, and the person will help us navigate it. Somebody neutral. It doesn't have to be my father, my mother, or your father, or your mother, because obviously
they will side you.
They'll be biased anyways. But it has to be somebody. It could be a spiritual director, somebody we hold in high esteem. It could have, if in Catholic Church, you say your marriage sponsors.
Okay.
Usually, there are people who have had years of track record of very good and solid marriage that we can actually reach out to them and then say, this is what we're going through. They help us navigate. It's just like being a baptismal sponsor for a child.
Okay.
You're supposed to help the parents help that child grow in faith. So the same thing as your marriage sponsors in the Catholic Church. They are supposed to hold your hands and then help you navigate. It doesn't mean that is every single issue that I'll go and show them. The difficult ones that we are not able to resolve on our own. Right? These are the third party that I said, I beg to differ.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean that something happens and I go to my friend, I tell this friend, I tell this friend, I tell this friend.
Yeah.
No. That's not the kind of third party I mean. So if you have a partner that does not have somebody he respects or holds in high regard, even the way he acknowledges his parents or elderly people, he doesn't really hold people in high regard.
Yeah. That would be a huge problem.
That's what I believe. I just believe you should run, because eventually you're not always going to be brand new and shiny. You're going to get old with him eventually. And if he doesn't have people he regards as important, that you can tell this is what he did, and they caution him or caution her, it's going to get to a point where if he treats you bad, you can't talk to anybody, you can't do anything about it, and you just have to deal with whatever comes.
Thank you very much, ma'am.
You're welcome.
It's really a pleasure, as usual.
I'm humbled
having you and, sharing your perspective and your, I think it will help youths out there and people who are in relationship, both those who are starting out and those who are in the long run. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So my people, you all have heard it. Do well to follow us on all our social media platforms, Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and drop a comment there on what you think about this episode. We'll do well to reach out to you. I remain your host, Goodness Shisum. Do have a lovely day. Bye.